Dre, motherfucker, Snoop, motherfucker, Duck Roll. Yo, when it comes, my love blows.
Podcast. You like that intro?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I fucking hate it.
Who cares?
Moving on.
Music too much. You can't overplay it. I've literally never heard that song until you played it.
Which one?
The fucking theme song.
It's actually two songs.
I know. I can tell when it ends. It's a different song.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cool song.
What's the second one? I can't tell what song that is, because for the first one I looked up the lyrics that I heard. I could hear and distinguish.
You hadn't heard the first song?
No, I haven't even heard that song, and I know it's popular.
Okay.
It's like
I don't even listen to music.
It's like Eazy-E. Today on the podcast,
man, music's overrated.
Eazy-E music?
Just music in general. I don't really know why.
If anything,
I just listen to podcasts all day.
Nah, reading books, bring that shit
That's
back.
all I do.
you download like 60 podcasts every Saturday and just listen throughout the week.
Definitely. Sometimes I listen to my favorite podcasts all over again. You know.
Hey Roberto.
What?
2 things. My favorite podcast on the internet is Maj and Bust. First of all. Secondly, my blind cousin is actually trying to get some Braille readings of the podcast. Is there anywhere I can find that?
Yeah, dude. You have to fucking go to your local library and shit. What you want to do is...
Wait.
You need to step up on the counter. You need to pull down your pants. You need to flap your dick back and forth 3 times. And then you need to pelvic thrust, you know? Land on your right foot. Don't forget it. And then you have to piss on the computer
myself,
and then they'll show you the Margin Bus podcast. It's on the secret menu, man. They don't give it to anybody.
The secret menu.
Yeah.
Hey, today's a special day because we have a guest that
we have a very special guest
again.
Eazy-E in the flesh.
Huh?
We dug up Eazy-E from his grave and we have him here in the flesh. We had to call the powers from Satan to help us out, but
he's actually a family man now, which is why he's boring.
He's what?
9 to 5 now, dude. And I talk like a white Mexican. I'm pretending to be easy.
Don't we all?
No one. Caught on.
All right. Starting off is fucking hard.
Yeah. Who cares?
Oh, I have a story. I have an interesting tale. If we can talk about religion, because I want to start off with something, that's not heavy. I want to start with something light.
I see that. So, religion for breakfast. Go on.
Right? It tastes just like nails. So I used to work at Rubio's, which I hope we can.
Oh, dude, Rubio's is okay.
Rubio's makes okay food. It's not the best.
It's like the best Mexican fast food that you'll see around.
Yeah, it's Mexican fast food, so it's like, I don't know, man. Taco Bell, Del Taco is super shitty, man. Del Taco is super shitty.
Yeah. That's exactly why. It's like shit you run into after you climbed out of the gutter and you're like hungry and you're like, Taco Bell's over here. It's really bad.
Obviously, we don't have pot smokers.
Hey, dog, but the cool thing is Taco Bell's open like at 2 a.m, dog. So when you're fucking like drunk or just like stumbling around, you can just fucking go to a Taco Bell.
Jack in the Box is open at that time too, so it's like fuck that, fuck Taco Bell.
Why isn't Whole Foods open 24 hours a day? That's what I'm saying. So, anyways, I work at this really general fast food place called.
We'll never surrender to terrorists.
And I'm working there, and I'm a fucking waiter, but they call it a GSA, which is a guest service assistant. Talk about living in a time where titles are important. It's like calling the garbage man the compost collector or whatever. I'm doing my waitering stuff. I'm cleaning the tables, and I see these little kids, right? And they're obviously from a foster family. So there's the oldest girl, which she's probably like 12, and then there's the youngest kid who's probably, I want to say, 4 years old. And the young kid ends up doing something, that young kids do. Like he breaks like a rule or some shit, right? Like kids misbehave. Obviously, they're kids. This was also around Christmas time. So then the little girl looks at him and says, "Hey, if you don't cut that out, I'm gonna talk to Santa Claus and I'm gonna tell him to not get you anything. You're gonna get coal for Christmas." I was like, "What the fuck?" Whatever, right? I'm not big for Christmas or holidays or anything. Although I'm talking to a girl that's making me celebrate Valentine's Day, or that makes me feel like I want to celebrate Valentine's Day.
But what about the girl, dude? Come on.
Anyway, yeah. So the 12-year-old girl and the 5-year-old boy. So what's going on there is the older girl is trying to discipline the young kid and be like the parent role. So she's just yelling at him, which I'm assuming is what her mom or parent or guardian does to them. So I can't really blame her for being a shitty person. So she's yelling at
religion, right?
What's up?
So religion, right? We're heading towards religion.
Don't worry, Roberto. I tie this up pretty nicely. So the little girl looks at him and says, "You know what? If you don't behave, I'm gonna tell Santa Claus to get you coal." Which to me is a very religious kind of threat. Kind of like, I'm gonna tell God, like there's this being above you, and there's this voice, and I'm gonna speak directly to it and to punish you. Now this kid, who probably believes in no religion at this point, has no understanding of what a God is. To him, his religion is fucking Santa Claus, right? Like that's probably the one thing that he believes in, because he sees a lot of people believing in it, and to some degree, it becomes very tangible when you receive a gift in Christmas, and someone tells you that's Santa Claus, right? That's kind of like when something good happens in your life and someone says that's God. But what this girl was doing to him, and it was pissing me the fuck off, was that she was basically saying, "I'm gonna have God punish you," and I think that is one of the worst things in religion. So this story continues, right? The little girl looks at me and she says, "Isn't that right, Alberto? Aren't you gonna call Santa Claus?" And then she looks back at her little brother and she's like, "Yeah, Alberto has Santa Claus's phone number. He knows Santa Claus. He's gonna call him, right, Alberto? You're gonna tell him that he's been naughty."
Sassy.
I'm like, what the fuck, little girl? Like who the fuck do you think you are? First of all, like, you're not tipping me. Second of all, you're like 12. So I'm not playing along. I'm like, you know what, little girl? I really don't know Santa Claus. I wanted to tell her I was an atheist. I just felt it wasn't the place.
You should have like,
no, it's not the place.
Your pocket and like fucking flinged it at her face, and then told the boy, "You're gonna get everything you want. Don't worry." And just fucking.
Yeah.
I should have been like, actually, little girl, I talked to Santa Claus, and he thinks you're a little shit. But I didn't say that. I look at the little girl, and I'm like, okay, little girl, honestly, I don't know Santa Claus, so you can't really talk to me about this. And I thought it was over. I thought that was going to be it. And it wasn't. So behind the little girl is some fucking grown-ass woman. This will piss me off. Some grown-ass, it's probably like 30-something. And she's like, "Well, actually, I have Santa Claus's number." I'm like, are you fucking retarded? What kind of imaginary friend game are we playing right now?
Stupid.
Where the little kid... Hey, so she's like, "Here's my phone number. Here's my phone. You can call him." I'm like, holy shit, lady. Like, why are you playing into this? I try to disregard it. I'm actually like building up all this internal hate towards that lady and that 12-year-old girl. And next to them, I see this Muslim guy. And I know I shouldn't assume that he's Muslim, but the way that he looked, because that's prejudice. But
who cares?
Right?
Prejudice is fine.
Okay, so there's a fucking Muslim guy.
If you didn't have prejudice, you wouldn't fucking have like any judgment probably. You'd just be like, "Oh, that guy's black, but he might be a white guy." That's fucking stupid. It's fine to be some form of prejudice.
I wasn't prejudicing or being prejudiced. I was just being very intuitive. This guy looked like he practiced the religion of Islam.
And the
what do those people look like? Can you describe those people to me? I don't think I can.
Really damn ugly.
Was he like a middle-aged white person? Was he a Mexican in a sombrero? Did he have a mustache?
I grew up Catholic. Let me tell you what religious people are supposed to look like. So I'm looking at this guy who I'm assuming is Muslim because I have really good intuition, and
Right.
and I'm actually pretty high because I'm at work, right? So why shouldn't I be high?
Yeah, dude, that's like the place to be high, if any.
It is the place to be high. Like most kids think that it's public parks and downtown, but it's really at work because you don't want to be at work.
Yeah, dude, some people think it's behind the fucking gasoline station or in a public bathroom.
Like, what am I doing? Heroin? Like, what is this? Third grade? So this Muslim guy that could have been very easily Christian or atheist, I don't know, whatever. But he's Muslim in my head. I'm creating this scenario inside my head after experiencing all that with the little kid and the lady and the 12-year-old girl and this imaginary character who we all call Santa Claus. I'm creating this scenario where that Muslim dude is just thinking like, oh my God, those Americans are so dumb. And I don't know why the Muslim guy sounds like that. He's like, those Americans are so dumb because they're just fighting over some imaginary friend that's never gonna give them any presents or coal. And then inside my head, I'm also imagining him being kind of a dick and being like, well, Allah is the true God. Everybody knows that. There's no such thing as Santa Claus. So all these people are kind of stupid.
I think once you reach a certain age, like when you're, I'm imagining this guy that you're talking about probably around 30 or 40. I'm sure once you reach that age, you stop kind of like worrying about other people's religion. Like even at my age, like I don't care at all if I see someone being like a Mormon or someone around here. It's like whatever. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
I disagree, Pablo. That's really like a new age thing. To
be almost
be tolerant.
Yeah.
To be tolerant is like a new age thing, man. I mean, my grandma is like super religious, and she totally gives a fuck about your religion. So, like, I don't think that shit leaves with age.
I don't think it has anything to do with age. I think tolerance.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, Roberto, I can see how that goes.
I think tolerance comes hand in hand with like maturity. Like, how mature are you to let someone else's beliefs affect you, or like impose, or how fucking hateful are you that you're willing to impose your beliefs on someone?
I don't think hate has to do with it, man.
I think religion is bigotry.
I don't think hate.
I think it's like more about like you care about the person, so like you rather they be what you believe is right.
Yeah, cause when you care about someone and you fucking like you're stubborn and you think you're right, like you wouldn't want them to go to hell. Like it totally makes sense for people to want to convert you, because some people actually truly are like, oh, like, dude, if you don't do this, you're probably gonna go to hell, and that's their way of thought. And
going back to
it's fear.
Going back to the little kid, you're right. It has a lot to do with fear. Going back to the little kid, the 12-year-old girl was trying to put the fear of Santa Claus into that young boy's life at that moment, and I don't even think that was
the wee little heart.
I don't think that was the worst part. I think it was the fact that lady was like encouraging it.
It all has to do with control, though, man. Like, how long is Santa Claus gonna be able to control his decisions? Not very long. He's gonna outgrow that by the time he's like 6 or 7.
We all know Santa Claus isn't real, right?
Yeah. So by the time he hits 6 or 7, now they're not gonna be threatening him with that. They're gonna be threatening him about like taking away his video games, and then like when he hits 13. He's gonna be like threatened by taking away his phone. So like in any case, it's like it's more about like who cares if they're like scaring him, like because it's a real fear to be like trying to scare him about like something that he thinks is like almost like powerful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that it can influence his life. That's scary, and that's pretty wrong to be trying to like scare some kid into like being like in good conduct, whatever. And but like it's gonna continue, like, and it's just gonna be more physical towards like the end, like towards the future. You know, like by the time he gets 13, he's gonna be taking away like his phone, and he'll get super pissed because he can't text like his middle school bitches that he like is trying to get at.
I don't think the phone will be his god as more as the phone will be the Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And then his parents. I mean, I have this theory that whenever parents have kids, and that's why I think the Bible was written by parents. Whenever parents have kids, they get this like God complex where all of a sudden you have someone below you that you created, and they can't really tell you that you're right or wrong because you're the one that decides what's right or wrong.
There's a lot of people have like doctors get God's complex, which is a pretty creepy thing for fucking.
I don't know, man. To be honest, adults are just like fucking tall babies, dude. Like,
fuck yeah,
no one really like fucking fully grows up, bro. I mean,
everyone.
Like, I couldn't have a kid, man. I'm fucking stupid, you know. Like, I fuck myself over all the time. Now if there's this little fucking kid following me around, shit.
I feel like parents are just like, hey, don't embarrass me because I'm a fuck up too. Don't show other people that I'm a fuck up.
A lot of people get good at hiding that shit. But then there's a lot of good, successful people. It is weird, dude, because at any point in life, like no matter how successful you can be, there's always something that you're probably gonna be embarrassed about, and you're gonna think that that's a downside to whatever you're doing. Like let's say, like for example, and this happens a lot. There's a lot of couples out there that get married when they're like, I don't know, maybe 25 or some shit, and the guy becomes a part of a company, and then they become really successful, and they get a house together and start a family and shit. And like the dude could be making like fucking like millions and shit, and like his wife might just like not even love him, and like that's bad. That's like a huge downside. Okay, and like no matter how successful he is in like his work or whatever, like relationships are a big thing, and like everything has downsides and shit like that.
You're right, everything does have a downside. I believe it. It's my own theory. I come with a lot of theories tonight. It's the theory of inertia. That's in physics, it means that if anything that goes up must come down, and that also reflects the idea of like if something is pushed by some kind of force, it's gonna pull the. I don't know. Like let me explain it this way: if something is really good, it has to also be really bad. People that are really
definitely, dude.
People that
I totally agree with you on that.
Are also the people that are really sad. You know, going back to your story, like if this guy finds someone that doesn't love him, like it really takes some self-discovery to be like, okay, do I love myself? Why am I not with people that love me? You know, I think that's why adults are such babies, because they don't fucking take the time to scold themselves and to discipline themselves and to actually try to care for themselves. Because like when we get parented, it's always like yelling and like punishing and all this shit, but it's never like asking questions. It's never like being genuine and saying, okay, what's up? And people don't even do that to themselves. Like people are very self-punishing. There's a word for it, but like it makes us big fucking babies. It really does.
Like you're saying, like people can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
Like I know what you mean. It's hard to.
I mean, it's kind of hard. It's harder to look at something else than it is to look at yourself.
Always.
Wait, what did you just say? I don't agree.
Let's repeat that for the audience, Alberto, because that was a really good quote.
Alberto?
His name is Roberto.
Oh, Roberto. I was talking to myself.
I don't know. It's easier to take a look at something else than it is to look at yourself.
Right? So why is it?
Yeah, I think last time you said harder.
Why is it? Let's not focus on it. But why is it? Why is it so much easier to have people assume that a God is looking at them, and then for them to look at that God when really God is a reflection of you, right? So why is this is what upsets me about religion? Going back to religion, like people are so much more willing to look at what God sees of them. If God says this is what you do to be good, then you kind of try to do that so that you can kind of create this image to yourself that you're good. But you never look at yourself and say, "Am I being godly? Am I?"
Oh yeah, definitely, dude.
I think everyone should strive to be godly.
That's fucking.
Yeah.
Should strive to be.
There was this quote or something. People should like stop like bringing up Jesus and shit, or waiting for his second coming. Yeah, people should stop waiting for Jesus' second coming and strive to be more like him instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People should strive to be like Jesus, but not like God. Like, what's the point of striving to be like God? Like, what does that even mean? What attributes could you bring?
What does that even mean?
Yeah,
you don't know what fucking God is.
That makes you like God.
Oh, Pablo always with his hard questions and his.
Pablo always with his hard cock and his sexy.
You know me. I don't know, man.
Okay. No. I agree. People should be more like Jesus. Maybe I shouldn't have said God because God is too much of a Western word that means. I think it means like too much power. People aren't afraid.
No one man should have all their power.
People should be like God because people that try to be like God.
People should be like Kanye West.
Satan, like, what's his name? Lucifer went to hell because he tried to be like God. Like, you're supposed to not try to be like God. That's bad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now, I'm not saying I believe in that. I'm just saying people that already believe in God think that's bad.
Yeah. Hold on, audience members, please don't try to be like God because you might get kicked out of heaven and then have your own place to be. It's like kind of like
you might have your own place, dog. Don't do that shit. You could get your own fucking place. Don't do that shit.
Without even paying rent or anything.
It's like going into an office and saying, "You know what, boss? I kind of don't like the way you're doing things." And the boss is like, "You know what? I'm sending you to fucking Brazil or Argentina, and you're gonna have your own office."
And I want you to run that business as best as you think you can. And you're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, dude. And then they have to manage everything and build a company and shit.
And God's like, "No, but you get all the profits."
And he's like, "I don't want him. Fuck." Dude, that's terrible. All right. Well, this was a great minisode. Remember to fucking follow us on Twitter.
Google Plus.
I'm at King Cold.
I'm at Dilated Pupils.
Dilated Pupils?
Dilated Pupils on Instagram. I'm at Egoknevil. And you can always find me on social media as Alberto Cordova Salcido.
I'm on MySpace, Roberto Gonzalez.
You guys have a Friendster?
I had a lot of Asian bitches on Friendster. Like, no, seriously. That's the place. That's the place you want to be if you like Asian girls. Friendster.
Oh, I thought you needed to be like in Japan or something.
No, you just have to be in the market for buying an Asian wife.
You just have to be somewhat. I don't know. Have that. You know, like that Asian-esque. You know.
I get you.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so.
Hey, Roberto, thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, it was splendid. Take care of yourself. And
thank you guys for having me on your guys' podcast.
All right.
Maybe you can be on it some other time.
This is the end, motherfuckers.
Hey, dude, I remember when Roberto was running. We were right next to the movie theaters. And Roberto was like excited about going clubbing. And he's like, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna go to the clubs and we're gonna go to the go-go girls, man." And then he goes running. He's just sprinting. He's just like running as fast as he can. And he's just running and running. And he tries to kick a street sign or a stop sign or something. He tries to kick something. And he goes, bonk, fucking misses the whole thing. Fucking slaps the pole, dude. And we look at him, he was just fucking laughing. He totally
that sounds crazy.